All right, let's talk Tarzan, 1918.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, of all places. Has this been a story that you've known about for years?
Well, I was having breakfast with some men, and one of them mentioned he was from Morgan City and said that that's where they made the 1917 Tarzan. And then he said, you know, they brought in apes and gorillas to make that film, and when they got ready to leave, they just left them behind. And that just stuck with me for years and years. And I did research and found out that it's not just that one little thing about apes, but it's a whole lot of interesting facts about that film that make it so unique. And then my daughter became a filmmaker, and she does a lot of documentaries, and so we teamed up to do the historic record of that movie and to debunk myths and to examine them.
Let's debunk one myth. What's the big myth that's not really true?
Well, I don't know. Probably the biggest myth that hasn't been able to be proven is that they had a spy, a lady that dressed up like a man, got on the crew, and she was just during the First War time, and she was with the crew while they were filming on Avoca Island, and she was watching to see the shipbuilding and reporting to Germans in the swamp there. So, I mean, that's one of the many, many things that's interesting about the film. Is the first one to use all African Americans, no blackface. Even, at that time, they didn't mix African Americans with white actors. They always used blackface. Well, this film, they used a black lady to play the maid of Jane, but they never put her name in any of the credits. So it was a very interesting time.
Wow, the film was immensely popular, just immensely popular at the time. First film to make $1 million at the box office.
Yeah, top 6 silent films
of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Of all time. Is it because the film was good or had never been done before? Why do you think it was so popular?
I think it's because the Tarzan books were so popular, and then this film was really a good film. It really is a good film. Even though a lot of people don't really like Elmo Lincoln that much as Tarzan, but still he played the part very well. The story was well told, and they were able to pull together jungle travelogue film along with shooting in Louisiana for the jungle and in California seamlessly. And I think that's probably one of the first films where they tried to do that.
Let's talk about the film festival. The film festival has embraced you and this film. Does that mean a lot to you?
Oh, yeah, it means an awful lot because it's so hard to get into film festivals because there's so many films out there. And so when they called me and said, we want to show, we want to be the Texas premiere of your film, I was thrilled. And just everyone I've dealt with at the Lone Star Film Festival has been so professional. And they've been so kind and so encouraging. And, they know who you are when you walk up. And so they say, I've heard about your film. They're very complimentary. Volunteers take it very serious. If their job is just making sure the mic is on, they're checking the batteries, So I'm very impressed with this festival, and I've been to a number of them.
You feel special in Fort Worth?
Yeah, I do. I really do, and mostly because I feel like they did research on the film.
Yeah, they got it. They get it.
Yes.
And that's really what's really great about this festival. There's some star power at this festival.
Yeah.
And when you walk around the star power, but I want to go back to, you've already screened the film here? Is
Yes.
it screened? So tell me about the screening and the audience and that whole experience for you in Fort Worth.
Well, the demographics were about what I expected. It was mostly people between the ages of 40 and 75, which probably saw Weissmuller on television as Tarzan. But also I was really encouraged to have young people there, but young people that got it. Because our film is not only about Tarzan and Burroughs and the Tarzan mythology, but it's also about the history of the world at that time. I wanted to put everything into context. And so when they saw that I had so much about what was going on with the Spanish flu and women's suffrage and the lynching of 100 African Americans in that time period and First War, and had all this in context of how it influenced the film and film influenced society, it's like they really got it. So that thrilled me. And one young man said that the screening yesterday was an epiphany in his life.
Do you think that? Yeah, that's monumental. What more do you want from that other than selling 1 million DVDs of your documentary? when you screen a film and for an audience, it's so much different than, I know you've seen it 1,000 times in an edit room and tested with all your friends and your family and all that stuff, but there's something really different about somebody who walks in, maybe pays a little bit of money, sits down in a movie theater and watches what you worked on for so long. It's a fulfilling thing.
It is.
Feels good, not
Yes.
bad.
Feels wonderful, and it feels like the whole thing is it's a communication. You're trying to tell someone what's important to you, and for them to think it's important enough to come and view it, that's a bonus.
Did you end up with a film you set out to make?
Yes, and more. We had 4 years, and we went through some 70 hours of footage that we had interviews and footage that we had captured, and the thing, it was, I knew it was a treasure chest, but I just didn't know how deep the bottom was. And one thing would lead me to another thing, which would lead me to another and another and another. And so I feel like that we got it all on the screen. I've had a publisher that's been trying to get me to write a book, and I keep saying, I don't need to write the book, just watch the film. It's all there, So I didn't have anybody standing over my shoulder saying, cut this for length, and so I feel like I got to make the film that my daughter and I felt was important.
What did you learn about the director of the documentary?
I was very impressed with this guy because, of course, they were kind of crazy and really stuck because they had to shoot in South Louisiana in August. They took massive doses of quinine. All of them got malaria and red bug infestation, and they used acrobats and they used at that time incredible gorilla suits. So he had to. This director really had it together as far as when Tarzan walks into the cabin, he's in Louisiana. When he gets inside the cabin, he's in California. So, I mean, it's seamless. And in fact, I had one director say he didn't realize that it wasn't shot in Africa. I mean, it was that seamless. And also, this director did a lot of things from high angle, really high angles, which meant they had to build up scaffolds up in the trees and shoot down. And they really did their homework on where to shoot the film. And I was really impressed. As a director, I'm really impressed with this guy.
Often a documentary is a calling card to a feature. This sounds like a good feature on the making of the 1917 Tarzan. Is that in your mind?
Well, I've actually thought about the Spy. I thought that would make a really good feature film because she actually stays with the crew all the way to the California shoot, and that's where she is apprehended because she gets with some other spies in San Francisco, and she just happens to be there when they take them all down. So to think, a lot of people don't realize that even in the First War and the Second War, they had submarines off the coast of America, and they did come into our area.
Last question. What is it? It's a little more philosophical for you, but what is it about making films, and in particular this film, that just kind of fills you up?
Well, especially this film, because I wanted to make a film for a long time, but I didn't want to make a one-note wonder. I wanted to find a story that was deep enough, the treasure chest mentality. There was not just one thing, but a deep, deep subject that would spread out. But I think that from now on, when I make a film, I'm not going to copyright it. I'm not even going to sell it. I'm just going to do it. I mean, at my age, 60 years old, I'm at a point where I just want to do it because I love it. And I really did fall in love with filmmaking. So my next films won't cost anybody anything except time to watch.